Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you a trade setup that I took today and a live execution if you wait to the very end. But I'm going to also introduce to you a few other indicators that I use that you can check out and watch the videos on at www.ictkraken.com. Okay, but at the end of this video I'm going to show you the live execution of the trade that I took, but I'm going to show you the trade that I missed out on and why I missed it, and so you can see what happened here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you is Kraken volume profile. Okay, and what this one does is, if you stand this up, obviously this is just a volume indicator, and it makes the bars. You can see the volume over here, the spikes and everything, but it also covers over the bars here. And so you have this vector candle is red, that's down candle. A green candle is a 200% up candle. And then I've got, let's see if I can find out, blue candles here and then purple candles, okay? So what this one does, this shows me where all the volume's at and where it is. And so you click on this, you can see this. This is what, if you hover over these icons, it tells you that the green candles are 200% greater than 200% of the average volume of the previous 10 candles. Red's is greater than 200% of the average volume of the previous 10 candles. So the red and green, red is bearish, green is bullish, blue is bullish, and it's 150% higher than the average of the previous 10 candles. And purple is the same for bearish, right? And then you have the regular colors, okay? So that's basically what it is, and then this can design your chart, but they're matched, they're color coded the same. So you load this on your chart. I don't ever have this open. I always have this shut down like this, but I have the candles here. And why is this important? Because these vector candles like to be revisited a lot of times, especially if they leave a fair value gap. They like to get traded back into, about middle of the way and then up, right? So here's a vector candle. It gets traded back into and then trades back up a little bit, right? This is a vector candle, goes down, trades back up into it. Vector candle, trades back into it. This is a vector candle, trades back in and comes down just a little bit. There's usually a reaction. They come up, comes up to halfway and then back down. Granted, that's 15 points or about 10 10 or 15 points, but I like to see where all the volume's coming in at. So that's one indicator, and you can check it out on ictkraken.com. The other indicator that I'm using a lot is the Kraken Correlation, and basically what that is momentum, the waves, right? The momentum. So what I want to see is basically looking for divergence here, and I use this as a confluence to find divergences, hidden or regular divergences, to tell me when it's a good possible trend continuation or can trend reversal, right? So that's how I'm using this, and basically you can turn this on and you have all the options here. You can show divergences, and you can have it in dark mode, and you can watch the video that I explain all this in ictkraken.com, and I'll explain why I'm looking for things here and how it works, right? But that is how we use it, or how I've been using it. So there's two of the indicators. The other indicator is Kraken Visuals, okay? And this will plot higher time frame fair value gaps on whatever time frame you're on. So right now I have 15-minute fair value gap and 1 hour fair value gap highlighted. I also have wait for the candle to close to identify a fair value gap. You can extend the boxes. I don't, but you can delete the boxes after fill, so it just keeps the ones that are continuously open at that time, and you can hide the fair value gaps lower than the enabled time frame. Okay, so let me just show you what this does right now. So right here is, we have 1 hour fair value gap that we're going to trade into, and then we have a 15-minute fair value gap here. And this right here is the 1 minute time frame. Let me turn on the watermark here. 1 minute time frame, right? So if I go to the 15-minute, it will show the 15-minute fair value gaps that I'm on, because that's what I have selected, 15 minutes, and then the 1 minute fair value gaps. If I go to the 1 hour, all these 15 minutes are going to fall off. It's just going to show me the 1 hour, okay? So if I turned on the 4 hour, it'll show me 4 hour fair value gaps here. So there's a 4-hour fair value gap, 4-hour from last week. And if I go to the 4-hour, the 1 hours will fall off and it'll just be the 4-hour fair value gaps, right? So if I'm on the 1 minute, it's going to show me everything. It's going to have a lot of these on here. Oops. Let's see if I can go up and see if I get more. There's the last week's 4-hour fair value gap. So not much in this week that haven't been filled in already, right? So let's go back here. The other thing that this indicator has, turn off the 4-hour. Also, this one has is you have 5 different EMAs that you can turn on and change the length. You can turn those on. It also has show previous day equilibrium line and show previous week equilibrium line. So I have those, the previous day and previous week EQ. You can change the thickness and everything here. And then you can also show a quote, which would be the top box, and then you can show a symbol box, info box here. So I'll click those on. This box I have at the bottom left, so it has the time frame, the date, and everything right there. And then it also has this box right here. Okay, if I don't have this on, that's where it would be. Okay, that's one. So let's turn that off. Okay, so you have a quote, and obviously you can adjust it, make it, hide the borders, change the font style, and all that stuff. Okay. All right, so I'm going to leave that on. So we come to the chart here today, and let's just see where we're at here. Let's just drop back down here, get this sized right. Okay, so you have this 1-hour fair value gap. I'm going to put it in blue so you can extend it out, because you can exchange these to have our length, but right now I keep them at 20, so I know there's a fair value gap there, right? So just, you can picture it. What I'll do is I'll color it on there, right? Okay, so when I look at the 1 hour, this 1 hour time frame here, I should have just done this way. Look at the 1 hour, where's an order block? Well, I have an order block right here. So this is a 1 hour order block, this line. Okay, so I go back to the 1 minute. So you guys wanted higher time frame, so here's what you get. You get the 1 hour order block right there. Okay, so let me extend this up. Okay, the 1 hour, that's what we're looking at. Okay, so what I want to see is these have relative equal lows here, like all these lows right here, and you have another low here. I would like to see these swept, right? And ideally, I want some kind of a market structure shift. You had one here, but it stopped here, right? And this is 7:25 in the morning. So it's way early, right? I'm waiting for closer to 8:30 to see what's going to happen. So I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens here. Waiting for my smart money reversal, okay? That's what I'm really waiting for. So I'm going to zoom this in so you can see candle by candle a little bit better. So let's play this out a little bit. I'm going to put my crosshairs on so you can see now you got some relative equal lows here, like you just added to it. So there's a lot of buildup of orders here. Ideally, I want to see these swept, and I want to see it fill in this 1 hour fair value gap, okay? That's what I'm looking for. I'm kind of waiting for that to happen, hoping that happens, because otherwise I'm taking a trade up here without that, and I know that's liquidity just resting there. I'd rather that be swept versus leave it there. So sweep that liquidity, and then I'd be thrilled. So it's a green vector candle, a lot of volume in that candle. Now, am I taking a trade just off vector candles? No. Am I taking a trade just off Kraken correlation and divergence? No. Those are confluence, right? I like to see vector candles in my favor. I don't like to see them not in my favor, right? I like to see divergence in my favor, not going against me, right? Big, huge vector candles like this coming down, I expect it to be retraced up into. So I'm not taking a trade if I was going lower right when it comes down. I know it's going to come higher. That's what the price loves to come retest the middle, a consequent encroachment of that vector candle. So it's just something to think about. If you didn't have this on, it would just be a fair value gap, right? So I know that that's a high volume candle, likes to be revisited. Okay, so let's see. Oh, now we get, where is it? Let's see. Okay, that just met that to the tick, filled that in. All right, so now we want to see what happens here. All right, so that is a red candle, so that was a vector candle. And then this followed by another vector candle. I'm loving that. Followed by another vector candle. Love it, okay? So what do we have here? Well, we have a market structure shift here. Let's put that here so you can actually see it maybe. Okay, let's zoom in just a little bit right there. All right, so how do I use this Kraken correlation? Well, how about this is regular bullish divergence. So in this bottom, so picture this halfway here. This lower half is for bullish, and then the top half is for bearish, right? So this bullish is going up, and the candle bodies are going down, right? So this is regular bullish divergence. Tells me that the market is prone to possibly look for a reversal, right? Reversal as in it's coming down. Now it could be going back up. And what do we get? Market structure shift. Okay, so let's look at the 5 minute here. Let's go to the 5 minute. Okay, so 5 minute. We have an inversion fair value gap right here on the 5 minute. So it's a fair value gap that just got traded beyond, closed beyond. Okay, so let's drop back down to the 1 minute here. Let's pull our fib from here to here just to see how high we would go. So pulling the fib, oh, we're pulling it on the 5 minute. So let me just go back here. Where am I pulling the fib from? This is the low right here, and this is the high right here on the 5 minute. Okay, so now dropping on the 1 minute. Go back here. I know it looks funny here. You can move this to here if you want. But that's where we're going. And then so 2.5 standard deviations is right up here, which is filling in basically a 1 hour fair value gap up here. Let's just mark that right here. Okay. So you see, I'm building a narrative, right? I'm building the higher time frame narrative, and I'm showing you how I did that this morning. Okay. All right. So we keep going here. I'm not going to hit the buy or sell buttons because I'm going to show you my execution at the end of the live video. So I'm not going to use the replay today. Okay. Could you have entered there? You could have. Now, the reason I'm thinking is because of 8:30 is right here. Right here is market open. Or, let me just put this on the chart here so you see it. 8:30. This is the news embargoes lifted right there, okay? So I'm in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if I come down and I take a trade, this is close enough that this could, have a lot of, we could wick me out in and out. So I need to be in a trade and be at least break even +2 if I enter a trade, right? So I'm going to show you the trade that I missed first. And so we'll continue here. Just showing you, being completely transparent with you right now, showing you. Okay, so there on the 5 minute time frame, this is a breaker block. Okay, 5 minute breaker block. Now let's go to the 5 minute. I'll show you that just so there's no questions. Here's the breaker block on the 5 minute chart, right? Low, high, wicks or lower low comes through, right? Breaker block. You want to call it a mitigation block because you want to use the body as you do you. It's a breaker block. So let's go to the 1 minute. Go back here. So what I wanted to do on this trade was place a trade setup right here. Okay, when this comes in down to here, I want to take my trade and I was going to aim for just 25 points, which is below the 2.5, below the 1 hour fair value gap, which is this blue right here. Let me go back to my pointer, which is below the blue. Easy target, right? Low hanging fruit. Could have gone up to here, could have gone up for 28, but I didn't. I was aiming for 25, okay? That's what I wanted. 2 contracts at 25 points is $1,000. Done, over for the day. So this is what happened. Came up a little bit, came down, and stopped. And I had my quant tower open. I had it set up. I was looking at this, and I was thinking, okay, I've got about 15 minutes to go here. We have some failure swings we just took out. We have a couple here, but then we have a lot of empty space up here all the way to the left until like last week, right? So I was thinking, okay, but we're kind of ranging. We just kind of popped up. We could pop down. We could have popped up. We could retrace, right? I do have 2 5-minute, a breaker and a fair value gap holding price, along with a fair value gap here. You know, BPR down here, but that already take me out. I only have 12.5 for a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio. So I waited, right? And then it gave me 5 more minutes to decide. That's where that doji is, right? And during that whole 5 minutes, I'm thinking, okay, maybe we're going to consolidate and stay here. Now you have 13 minutes till 8:30 starts. All right, so I was like, not sure what I want to do. Then price just took off. Vector candle, leaving behind fair value gaps. And it's going, and it goes, and it keeps going. And I'm like, wow, that was awesome. Sure enough, I'm like, okay, maybe 8:30 is going to give me another shot. Maybe I'll come back in here and I'll retest this area. That is what I'm thinking. 8:30 comes, which is right. Is 8:30? 8:30 comes, and it's nothing. I mean, look at this candle. This candle is nothing, right? And you're like, and I was like, well, obviously there's no news today, so why would you be thinking there wouldn't be anything? Right, so then here, this 15-minute fair value gap shows up because that's the Kraken Visuals. It comes up with a 15-minute fair value gap. So then it takes it out right there, goes to the target. So I missed this trade, right? I know it's a long video, so I apologize, but okay, so let me go back to price is now coming down. It's retracing. It fills in that 1 hour fair value gap, right? It fills that in. So now you could easily be coming down, right? Hey, you have a market structure shift here. You know, like here, market structure shift coming down. This filled in a fair value gap, a 1 hour higher time frame. So now we could be looking to go short, right? Well, and then it comes up, comes down a little bit. There's that 15-minute fair value gap. Let me put that on here, right here, just because it's going to go past it. It's on here, but it's I'll show you. Okay, and I'm watching this all the time. Now I'm thinking, okay, at 9:30, let me put 9:30 on here, is 9:30. There's 9:30 New York Open, right? Same kind of thing, right? You have a 15-minute fair value gap right here. So then I look and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Let's pull the fib and see where we're at, right? Let's see where's OTE at. Well, so I take the fib from the high and the low right here. Optimal trade entry is down here. These two 5-minute fair value gaps. Inversion fair value gap right here, and the 5-minute breaker right here, and the 15-minute fair value gap right in here, right? That's optimal trade entries right in here. 50% right here, and we got a middle of a 15-minute fair value gap right there, right? And then I started looking, and I'm like, okay, let's go back to the 5-minute and see what we've got here. Let's reevaluate here. Okay, well, wait a minute. There's a 5-minute breaker block right here. It's in the middle, right above 15-minute, or right in the middle of the 15-minute fair value gap, right in the middle of the equilibrium here, right here. It's got to go through that. And then I went to the 15-minute because I have it on my chart, and I'm like, wait a minute, we got a 15-minute breaker block right here, right? So when you go back to the 1 minute, you start marking all these PD rays over there. Look at this cluster that you got going on. Right in here, you're gonna have some. It's gonna be breaking through some major PD arrays if it breaks through this, right? You got a 15-minute fair value gap. You got a 5-minute breaker. You got a 15-minute breaker block sitting on top of these PD arrays that have already been have given you an opportunity to go on. So then I was like, okay, well, let's just see how this plays out here a little bit more, right? Oh, wait a minute. Okay. All right, so then I'm looking at this and I'm like, hey, this is starting to print some divergence again. Okay. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, hey, this is regular bullish divergence. This is going up, right? Regular bullish divergence. All right, it's printing it right now. So I placed my order right here at the consequent encroachment of the 15-minute fair value gap, the middle of the 5-minute breaker, and just a little bit into the 15-minute breaker. That's where I had my order right here. I know it's right before 9:30, but I figured since then this open may not be as strong as it normally can be when there's a lot of news that day. Since there's not very much news today until 10 o'clock, it was like an orange folder. And the 8:30 didn't really have anything. I was like, you know what? This is a lot to go through. So if I get in this trade and it's right here, I'll just cancel it right before 8:30. If it goes up, I'll move my stop to break even +2, right? And then depending on how the open goes, I may move it up, right? I don't know. So I put my stop here. I put a limit order in there. This is what price did. Got me in on a red vector candle. Never want to see that. And then that candle really was kind of worrisome. I liked that candle. Didn't like the wick. Okay. All right, much better. At this point, I think, yeah, at this point right in here, I think I go break even +2 after this came up here. And I kind of hesitated when it was going up here. I moved it up, and I was like, let's move it back down. Let's give it some time. Let's give it breath. I moved my stop to here, and I kind of played around with it because I wasn't sure on this 9:30, right? But I went here. I left it at break even +2. I left it there, and then as it went up and did this whole dance thing here, I kind of was moving it up because I wanted to make sure I capitalized, and then it ended up taking the trade right there. Let's move this like this. Right there, right? Yes, I know there's a trade over here that to go back up when it comes down, but that was my trade setup. I took this trade. This is the one I missed. Okay, so in this video, I've shown you a few new indicators that I've been using, and I've shown you how I use them and that I missed this trade this morning, but I did execute on this trade. So now I'm going to show you the live execution, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, I'm adjusting where I want to take my targets here. I have a 12.5 stop loss and aiming for 25 points. 2 contracts. It's $1,000 if it hits TP. It's a top step account with 2 other ones that are copied on it. Okay, so as this creates this new low here, my mind is thinking 9:30. I just don't know what's going to happen at 9:30, so I kind of play with my stop probably too much actually for comfort, to be perfectly honest. You'll see it here, but being completely honest here with I saw that first swing high, and as we take it here, like right there, I move my stop, and I'm like, whoa, 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 that's only like 3 points. Go back down. Maybe the swing low, and then I'm looking, I'm like, okay, but that's still only like 6 or 7 points. That's not enough of a stop. here, right? Let's put it back to where it was so it can breathe, back to where it was. And that's what I just did. And then measuring right there, that's the swing high that I want. That's about 12 points. So when it goes up there, I should move it. But I still see 930, right? It's, getting closer and closer to 930. This is 928 right now, and I'm like, move it to break even. No, leave it right there. Right there is probably good for 930. That's fine. But if it takes that thing right there, nope. You know what? It's 929 right now. I'm moving it up, and I moved it up and left it there. And then I have my hand on the flatten button. So, and as soon as it goes up, I'm like, let's move my stop. Oh wait, no, just use the flatten button. It's so fast as you're watching this price go up, and so then as it moves up, it takes TP, and that's how we ended the trade.